Hi, I'm Ben Doremus, CTO at Magenta Care Continuum. This is the second video in our series about bad data in risk adjustment. Previously, we identified three main causes of missing diagnoses. We have missing documentation, incomplete documentation, and coding errors. Today, we're covering the most popular solution to finding missing diagnoses, natural language processing, or NLP. Let's break down the business processes involved with using an NLP solution. First, payers must gather all the relevant documentation together. This is called chart chasing. This is a slow, laborious, and costly process, and it never covers 100% of the records that a member has. After delivering all these documents to the NLP solution, the documents are then processed. This is another slow, costly step. At best, it takes a couple days, usually it's measured in weeks. The computational power is intense that's needed to process these. And then, after they've been processed by the NLP solution, the results must be interpreted and acted on. This usually requires a clinical or coding team to review the patient records and try to find evidence supporting the NLP's findings. Sometimes they get hints of where to look for the evidence, such as procedure dates or specific records that triggered a finding. Sometimes they have nothing to work with at all. So here is yet another costly, slow, resource-intensive step. Now that we have a general idea of how it works, let's go back to our problem definition from the first video and see what root problems this is addressing. First up, missing documentation. If a patient was never assessed for a condition, there are no relevant records for NLP to process. I mean, even if the member was seen and properly documented, if it's at some small specialty office or at a provider's office outside the network, you may be completely unable to get the records, even if they do exist. In all of these scenarios, NLP just doesn't have the information available to it, and it won't be able to find the missing diagnoses, so this is a flat-out miss. What about incomplete records, such as a pacemaker or ICD monitoring, where there was no documentation of a heart rhythm? Well, it really depends on how much context is provided in the notes. Sometimes it may be able to suss out that information is missing, sometimes not. Call it 50-50. Lastly, we have coding errors. These, on the other hand, are the forte of NLP. If all the documentation exists to support a diagnosis, but it wasn't coded properly, NLP should pick that up and show you exactly what was missed. Now, this is really interesting if we step back and think about it. The whole foundational reason to use NLP really has its strength in fixing coding errors. Isn't that curious? Because there's this massive marketplace already out there for tools that support coders. Of course, errors still occur. That's why we need all this stuff. But is this truly the largest source of missed diagnoses? Is this the only one that matters? It seems wildly wasteful to suggest so. This then begs the question, how do we fill the rest of the holes? Well, next time we'll dive into claims analytics, and after that, how these two solutions work in tandem for a maximally efficient risk gap closer. Enjoy the cliffhanger, and I'll see you next time.